Good morning, Eastern France, wherever you might be watching us here this morning. We are live and direct, of course, bringing you the unbiased reportage of events. Today's morning, we are to look on the proposed bill by the Senate, of course, on the parents that every parent should endeavor to send his or her ways to or children to school. Of course, otherwise they will back, of course, imprisonment or fine. Under this current economic hardship, mishaps, should that be the only concern of this senator? It seems they don't have other business doing. Good morning, Mr. Mach.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I think when we look at education, whether in Nigeria, whether any other part of the world, it should be something that the government should prioritize. And when it comes to prioritizing it, the government should not just see it as something that the parents should bankroll on their own. I think the government should know that education should not be a source of revenue. The government should understand that they need to subsidize education. To that extent, if education is a necessity, I think the government have a responsibility to subsidize it by making a law to compel parents that you must send your children to school. I don't think it's entirely bad, but I think the government should provide part of the funding, because education, for me, if we get it right, we'll be getting our problems solved almost about 50 or 60%. We are here talking about human capital that is needed to drive all facets of human development. So, for me, I think government is wrong if they are putting.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. We are trying to get the network back online. Yes, as you are saying, Mr. Matthew, continue with your submission.
So when it comes to education, education is always a priority, not just in Nigeria but globally, because of the strategic importance of education. When you fail to educate your people, the government and the whole society will pay for it. Just like what we have in the northern part of the country, you can easily say the children in the north are easily available to be recruited into terrorism, to be radicalized. The reason they are easily radicalized is because they do not have a necessary education to know their left from their right. So if the government knows that education is a necessity, the National Assembly should not be making law to put the financial responsibility of sending the children to school on the parents alone. If you are making a law to say it is compulsory that children should go to school, I concur 100% with it. When it comes to financial burden, I think it's something that should be shared between the federal government, state government, local government, and the parents.
And now, seeing that this economic situation is unbearable, and most parents have lost their source of livelihood, so why should the support senators, who are representative of the people, representative of the people, be acting in such a way that expresses lack of sensitivity on their own part, as if they don't know what exactly is happening?
I have a feeling that the National Assembly members in Nigeria, they are only there because of their pecuniary interests. They are not there because of the interest of the masses. Otherwise, I don't see any reason a right-thinking member of the society who is a senator will not understand that there are some parents who do not have what it takes to send their children to school. Go and look and check. Nigeria accounts for a good number of out-of-school children. And the reason is not far-fetched. Go to some part of the north, the parents do not have what it takes to send their children to school. I think the right thing to do is to, one, make a law that is compulsory that every child should go to school. Then you bring out the sharing formula. What is the percentage of government funding? And we understand in the past we had a situation where there used to be free education from primary school to secondary school level, and a good number of these senators benefited from that system.
Exactly.
So why should they be the one trying to introduce a system that is peculiar on the part of the parents? So for me, I think the society should rise against it so that the senators can do the right thing.
Honestly, what I should have expected from them to cut downsize their expenses, allowances, and make more budget for the education. Look at when you see the previous budget allocation to education is less than 4%. Why they cut away with billions, several billions, hundreds of billions on their own allowances and of course other remuneration or whatever you call it. So isn't that an act of insensitivity and irresponsibility on the supposed people who should protect the interests of the masses? Then what do you think the masses at this time will do? But it is the primary responsibility of any responsible government to ensure that the education of her population, especially the children. It is a right of every child to education. So how will the masses enforce the government to begin to do the needful at this time?
I think the ways the masses can put pressure on the government is one, by people reaching out to their representatives at the level of House of National Assembly, whether at the level of Senate, House of Rep, to put pressure on them to do the needful. And the pressure should come with threats. Because most of them are interested in going back to the house. That if you are not ready to do the needful, to take care of the needy, to take care of the concern of the grandchildren in terms of education, they come back to us to seek a mandate, we will not give them mandate. Don't forget that recently, even National Assembly were opportune to share 70 billion naira.
Just imagine, 70 billion.
As given to them by now.
How many people? Less than.
We are talking about 400 and something persons.
400 people.
And if that money were to be shared equally, we are looking at about 100 and something million per person. So for a government that have given such to just few number of persons in the name of National Assembly members to know that it is important that you fund education. And if you look at even the suffering of the masses, particularly the downtrodden, because if you look at the last record of National Bureau of Statistics, when they talk about the poorest of the poor, that you have about 150 million Nigerians who are extracted emotionally poor. So federal government, when they were talking about putting the effect of subsidy removal on the vulnerable, they were talking about 8,000 per individual. As we speak, that when there was public outcry against it, it was suspended. Federal government promised to review it. Up to now, it has not been reviewed. And we are not sure whether federal government is going to do anything in that regard. And you see a government that is making a law compelling parents that you must send your children to school. I'm not saying it's against for parents to send their children to school, but I think federal government should provide a good amount of a good percentage of the funding so that the children can actually attain the necessary education are required by the modern age.
Of course, once a child is educated, you are preparing him for the future challenges. Being that Nigeria is one of the 6 largest oil producing states, there's nothing wrong if free education from primary to junior secondary school be declared, that every child within the Nigerian state should be able to access basic education. And so unfortunate.
I think that is correct, because if you even look at the subsidy removal, federal government told us that they were going to put the money in critical areas. I think education should be a major area of priority. And let me say this, that since the inception of this government, it is on record that they have borrowed about $1.something billion from World Bank. And part of the money has to do with their child education. So I think the federal government should come and claim. Let us understand the essence of that money. Do not forget that the former government of Muhammadu Buhari borrowed $800 million as part of what this government needed to use to cushion the effect of subsidy on the poor. As we speak, it's not on record that money has been expended. So I think we have so many questions that the government needs to answer.
It's so unfortunate, and thank you so much for your wonderful submission, Mr. Matthew. God bless you. Yes, I have, as we continue to discuss these pertinent issues, we have some comrade here. Good morning. Comrade Chinedu.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
If the Senate have read the first, of course, the reading of the bill, enforcing parents compulsory education of their children and wells under this current economic mishap, where we have more than 133 million Nigerians certified to be multidimensionally poor, which of course uh, forms larger populations of families within the Nigeria. More than 70% of the populations of Nigeria, if not more, are multi-dimensionally poor. And here comes the support senators who are the supposed representative of the people are enforcing such law without having any recourse to the nagging economic issues.
Of course, now I think everyone want to see their people in school. People need to go to school. Education is very important. Education is not something to toy about. Education is a legacy for development, and one cannot shy away from it. Education has become very important that, at a point that we need everyone to be educated, at least educated. If not that the situation is just very funny in this part of the world, I think every Nigerian should be able to enjoy free education from elementary to primary school. Then from secondary school, we make it very, very affordable, and with teachers, being taken care of. That's when we begin to experience the kind of quality education that everyone will dream of. But in the reality is this, that the situation now, the economic situation, the bad economy now we are having makes it very difficult, for people, to go to the school, apart from the very rich who can afford to pay for the kind of fees, in our schools. Without that, an ordinary person or a struggling family cannot be able to take 2 or 3 kids to schools simultaneously and be able to take them through primary, secondary, and up to university level. It's really very difficult, And most of the funny thing is that, you see, I don't know why they are shying away from this reality, because we know that most of these people that are parading themselves today to be very educated, they were not even educated. Most of them went to missionary free education. They enjoy free education throughout their life, so they cannot compare themselves with what we are having now.
And now they are senators and who should have served humanity, having enjoyed such privileges, and now turning their backs against the masses.
Yes, go and look at them. Look at them very well. Look at Oloshenka. In the real sense of it, if you put Oloshenka and Chinua Achebe in the same table, they are not mates. Forget, I don't know how they manipulated it that he won the Nobel Prize. They are not in terms of writing, in terms of this. What this guy is doing there is just grammar. Go and look at what Oloshenka wrote. When you talk about education, people who are educated, people who are enlightened, people who are exposed, people who are wordsmiths, who know how to use the pen to interpret humanity. You understand? Yes. You talk about Achebe, not you understand? Today, put it anywhere. I don't think any person will want to compare Oloshenka, with what Chinua Achebe left, legacies that he left off over the years. And people are today, because there was an argument recently, about Oloshenka's educational qualification. It came to a debate where people were arguing, and I was there, and people were trying to compare Oloshenka and the Chinua Achebe. At the end of the public opinion there, Chinua Achebe dusted him very well, because the evidences are there. It's talking about, when they talk about Queen's English, the way it's supposed to, simple English, not this grammar. What Oloshenka is just talking about grammar. We're talking about simple English where people can read and understand, So, and these people we are looking at today enjoyed tremendous support from the missionary on the level of free education. They enjoyed it to the maximum.
Honestly and unfortunately, it will not replicate the same here. And this is quite hilarious and ridiculous. When they have the opportunity to have improved on what they enjoy, but unfortunately, they have killed, proceeded in killing that.
What I'm saying is this is very clear. They're very clear. I think I'm still advocating for it, that there should be free education for Nigerian children from primary at least to secondary. How much is the teachers making? All this one they are looking because of the institutions of Nigeria are not strong. And we have discussed this thing over and over again. By the time we begin to have stronger institutions, then we begin to see human development, we begin to see national development, we begin to see genuine development in every facet of the system. But as it stands now, the system is too bad. How many Nigerians can afford to put their 3 kids in the university? How many Nigerians can afford to run their 3 kids in Nigeria university? So
you're talking of university. I myself paying for 3 kids in primary school because of this new session. I'm spending more than 450,000. Both their school fees, uniforms, all the materials and whatever they need because of the.
Yes, it brought us to the issue of public government, public schools and private schools. It's becoming a very serious challenge. It looks like the public schools, the government schools are dying, while the private schools are leveraging, on that opportunity and punish the masses by charging exorbitant fees up and down. I think that's what I'm saying, that where are the institutions that regulate these things?
Well, look at public schools. In a single class, they will be up to 200. So how will they learn? A single class, they will be 200. So, that
is why we are. That's why we are saying that it will continue to go down. Nigeria is going to scatter. Go and say because the institution that was supposed to hold the nation called Nigeria is dying, and nobody's doing anything about it. And they are telling me, saying, how will it happen? How will it happen? They are throwing up graduates from the university that cannot read and write. They cannot come out from the university and drive Nigerian economy. They are not skilled.
Even when they are skilled, even doctors are looking for job in Nigeria. Doctors are unemployed. Most doctors. So what are you saying? They are just managing any private sector just to kill them.
The thing is this: whoever that is in charge, whoever that is concerned, whoever that is listening, there should be an advocacy, because children are no longer going to school. Families cannot even afford to send their wards to primary, doctors of nursery or kindergarten, because of the money they are charging for services they render is too much. How can somebody that is earning 30,000 naira be paying 450,000 for his kids to go? There's house rent there. There are other bills. Nigeria is a heartless nation, honestly. Nigeria is a wicked nation, and that is why people like us are asking that God to speak to the powers that be, especially the United. Let them disintegrate this country, because we don't know where the problem is coming from. We don't know who to hold responsible. Leadership in Nigeria has failed woefully.
Honestly, if most parents withdraw their children because they could not afford the cost of the tuition fee and all that, You see, it's so unfortunate that it's coming from a sitting senators, supposed hollow chambers. We should have better discussions and prospect for the masses rather than aggravating the situation. Is so unfortunate. Now, when children get called for downsizing their own salaries and allowances, so that they can, take care of the education of the Nigerian children.
Well, I don't think that is going to solve any problem. Even if they bring out the salary, the problem is this: by the time they use the powers of the federal government, the solution of power, in that begin to see decentralize that center, then not only that, not only that, I think there should be a legislation in that process. Let every Nigerian have a mandatory primary and secondary education. A mandatory.
What I expected from the senators who are just beating about the bill.
All this looting, all this money they are looting here and there, up and down. What are they are going to lose it and die. All these things they are buying up and down, they are going to leave it and die. Why not give humanity a legacy he or she can be proud of? That yes, I am a Nigerian.
And you still expect the people to be proud to call themselves Nigerians. Why they suffer through virtually all process for survival. Nigeria has not contributed anything to their life and existence.
That's why we are seeing all this fraud up and down. People no longer go to school. People go to school to forge results.
Imagine.
Yeah, because they look at it as the system is already messed up. So people they can go to anywhere and forge results. They can cheat. They can malpractice during the examination. So
Don't you forge the result? Don't think they will have any interest in education.
Because they don't know the value. The value is part of destroying the system because the system is weak. So this is a product of a weak system. It doesn't be weak. Everything about you is not going to be in line in stronger terms. It's definitely going to be weak. That's why you see everybody now is just using phone to write exam. Because at the end of the day, what matters? Some people go and buy results, buy certificates. Most of them there. Go and check. You understand? Because there are no strong institutions.
Yes.
So it's unfortunate, and until we begin to do that, see that there is a legislation in that process, in that angle, that at least for now, let it come to Nigerians understanding that yes, government have made it mandatory for every Nigerian to go to primary and secondary school free
Of charge, all expense paid by the government.
Yes, they can do it. How much are you how much is being looted? How much are they paying these teachers? Build houses for these teachers. You give them something to correct them, and let them come out with their bill. Now, look at what is happening in the health sector. The same thing. If you go to their hospital, nobody will attend to you until you go to their own private hospital.
If you are to scan or run any X-ray, they will send it to their own private establishment. Why shouldn't the government run, of course, the state-of-the-art facilities, install it for their own, the welfare of the supposed citizens? It's very unfortunate. Finally, what do you go from here? Because it appears these people are not even serious. They don't care what happens to the masses. They take their children away for, of course, the Western world for the best of the schools, and they graduate and flirt their certificate and all that. Why no preparation or any arrangement at all for the masses of this country? So how do we go from here? Is it building an army of resistance and a system where we may not truly desire to be part of?
No, the thing is this. We continue to push, for civil society organizations to really understand what every Nigerian is going through. It's not even, I'm not talking of those who are in the urban areas. There are all those who are in the suburb areas, There are those who are in the suburb. There are those who are in the suburb. also they are going through a lot. Those ones who are in the urban areas, they can still shake small body and say, okay, let one or two, you know. But what of those who are in the local areas, farmers who have nothing, peasants who are just there with little or no hope to take anything home?
Honestly,
Why can they give
in IDP?
why can in IDP, why can't you give them that lifeline instead of stocking billions of naira dollars that you cannot finish? Nigeria is preparing for final burial of the country as a
Nigeria is
nation.
preparing for final burial, and the signs are everywhere. Thank you, esteemed fans. Congrats for your wonderful submission this morning. You can hear it from him. Okay, let's hear your own submission here.
He said Nigeria is preparing for final burial.
Final burial. Do you have the same, share the same?
How many guests is he going to invite for the final burial? No. Anyway, we are not going to be buried. Nigeria is not going to be buried.
Good morning, Mr. Lucky.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Yes, the senators, your senators representing you, are on the way of passing a bill compulsory that you must send your children and wards to school, regardless whether money there for pocket or not. So it is your responsibility. You must, by all means, otherwise prepare for jail.
They should first of all go to jail. Let them jail all of them first. Those who are talking, those senators. Where were they when they increased their school fees to 1 million naira? How are you going to get the million? Okay, we'll go ask, kidnap them, cheat them before our children can go to school. When you carry the price high, during their tenure, how much did they pay? Did they pay up to 100,000 naira?
Most of them enjoy free education.
Free education. You are not saying it's compulsory. Yes, let them still pay the same bill. That government should make sure that school is free to the yet unborn, to those who are living. They should pass that bill too. I get me that every household must go to school, and minimum of at least less talking. They went to school, they did not pay anything, they pay less. I get me. Now you expect them that making a law that compulsory everybody must go to school. Yes, I agree with that. But the report is that what's the money? When a science student is paying almost about 1 million naira, mathematics is paying almost about 700,000 naira, they should think what they will do. First of all, let them invite encourage the professors or those the owner of those schools. They should make sure that at least minimum of talking change, let them pay so that all our students will go to school. And again, after the school, after spending 9 years in the school, no job.
That is another angle.
That no person must get me a job. I get me. No job. You can't say be that all children will go to school. Are you aware? Nigeria is the highest country who produce graduates every year.
Unemployed because there is no facilities.
Yes, and not employed. That's why you see criminal kidnapping everywhere. Hook up everywhere. You go smoker. All these what do you call it? Drunkers and Papa Ichebu. You see, that's what they train them for. That's what they go to school for. So, senator to pass a bill that at least when you are a science student in university, you should not pay less than at least 50,000 naira. I get me. When you do that, everybody will be very happy than giving that compulsory the bill. First of all, they just are hungry. When you're hungry, can you go to school?
Exactly. Most parents have lost their source of livelihoods, yes, and some is not even sustainable. How can somebody even at in this current Nigeria survive with even 100,000?
When the bag of rice is so 50,000 naira, you have gas.
Enough of bread. Yes.
Enough of bread. Parents will be carrying Ghana must go to Baba.
You got it to 1.5. From 1 bread.
2,000, 2,500. A big bread that can feed the family.
Just a bread, common bread. We no get even. So we no get stamina.
Like now, as I'm talking to you now, I told you, my daughter
is at home now because he can't be able to pay for hostel. I get me. I manage pay school fees, but I can't pay for hostel. I get me. I don't know. Nobody didn't know anybody in that particular area. I don't. I mean, I'm from Isha, but in Benin, I don't know anybody in Benin. You can't just go and stay for somebody's house. And in the school, it's a new person. I don't. I mean, you cannot just approach anybody. If you want to stay, I say, okay, wait. I get me. Never mind. You can see. So Nigeria need help. I don't know. Nigeria need help. What is the help? The government first should do something. Not passive be that compulsory should go to school. Which school? Those who pass out, are they getting job?
Don't you think that the senators are the major problems? They let crucial issues untouched and just scribbling on things that is immaterial, that doesn't add any value to humanity. Why should they enforce parents to pay? Why most parents don't have such a livelihood? Most of them lost their jobs. Most of them, their social sustenance is no longer sustainable. Can't even take them home, let alone sustaining the home.
That is the point now. That's why we left for the people. You know, Nigeria is so docile. Nigeria, they all sleeping. What they're supposed to react, they will not react. It's mobile that die. You see all of them protest. They will not protest for their stomach. They will not protest against tomorrow. They will not protest against their children be maltreated by this government. Like this government just came and start sleeping in Asoroki. He has not even. I didn't say anything. Just passing a bill that cannot even affect the people. That doesn't mean what concern that everyone must go to school. Go to school for what? You cannot eat. Can you read? So probably I didn't blame Pablo. I probably don't even win election. I get me. He did not win election, so it's a dog that you can push around. So I don't believe all this senator. Check them. Did they go to school? Which school they went? All of them first certificate. So I think Nigerian people left for them. Let them be sleeping.
Look at the education bill, loan bill. How many people have accessed it? And it's the institution that should disburse such loans, education loan, has not been established. They just enact the law, but the institution have not been established that will, of course, disburse the loan pending on the availability of funds. That is what they said. So even though you want to access the fund, if the money is not there, if the money is meant to be shared among the senators, you won't be giving anyone. So, depending on the availability of funds, isn't that an advanced fraud against the masses?
APC are propaganda. APC, they are fake party. All 8 years they spend there. You see what happened? Nigeria went down to zero. So whatever they say, it's just mere talk. They are just fooling the people, and the people allow them to fool them. All the things Buhari promised, they finally plane, airport, everything. Have you seen anyone we celebrated? No. He said, "Wait, Tinubu is coming here to see people. Their border have been open. Rice is cheap. At the end, we are still buying almost about 55,000 naira." So, any TAPC say, whether school or low, whether this is all fake, APC fake, they have expired. And it's only Nigeria just pity some of these people, country, and some of this state who voted for APC. Even Lagos State, Bulabo, they don't win. He did not win. They defeated him. So it was just that they rally around and do whatever. But what I'm telling you, whatever you are saying now, telling me about law for school, about road or media fake, that APC represent fake identity. Whatever we are saying now, my brother, the only thing that's helping Nigeria now is by the grace of God. We are living. But any APC, whatever they say, fake. Nobody can believe them anymore.
Honestly, I saw some vegetables, very load of vegetables that expired, that wasted because of bad roads, while moving it down to the urban regions. It got spoiled because of bad roads. They were trapped in a place. So what is government doing with all these monies? The kind of money these guys are looting from Nigeria is enough to build 10 Dubais. 10 Dubais in Nigeria.
The problem is corruption.
I don't the common road, they can't
I didn't see any government this government fighting corruption. If you check the agenda, corruption is not even first or second, third, or last. Are you getting me? So Tinubu supposed at least ask the ministers of Buhari's, all of them, mostly Fashola, all the money they borrow, what did they use the money for? All the roads are bad for 8 years. I get me. He's supposed to have called Fashola, like the Tamila Bridge, Benin Road, Amki Road, Abuja Road. No one they completed, and the one they did still bad, except only this Dangote. If the one in Apapa that we are still managing. The rest of road, Fashola finish all the money. Other ministers, airport, no common one plane. So something is not somewhere. Before we can start saying what to do something, trust Tinubu should probe Buhari first. Probe all the ministers.
How possible to probe him? I think, what is he doing with the loans he has collected in the last, just within 3 months or 4 months? So what have you done with it? So what should he prove? You told us that subsidy you have saved within 60 days or so, 1 trillion or more. You see, then what have you done with those money?
They are the same APC now. That's all their agenda is fake. So all APC agenda, so it's fake. There's nothing we can analyze today and talk. You see, come back tomorrow and say the same thing. So APC, they are fake product, fake party.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lucky, for your submissions. Esteemed fans, you've heard it. The Nigerian's situation is getting more, of course, unbearable as times rolls by. How could the sitting senators embark on such an action act without having a recourse to the plight of the masses and what they are passing through, or how to, of course, cushion the effects of this? I expected them to have, of course, passed a bill mandating this government and every state government to ensure that the children within those localities have compulsory education, free education from primary to at least junior secondary school, and so that it will create some, of course, ease some burdens on the parents who are passing through a lot through difficult times. I mean, the pressure is too high that you can't even have, fortunately, any possibility of accessing any grant or loan from the government, depending on when the students are done with their studies, they can now pay. Even the one that was passed, which is not yet in effect, you borrow 500,000. What is 500,000 for an undergraduate of this time? Will you use it for your term papers, or will you use it to pay for hostel or accommodation? What will that serve? You see, and after the process of getting that is even, it's more easier to pass through the holes of a needle than getting through the dart if you are not even connected or highly wired. So, and after your varsity studies, you'll be given 2 years. There are people for the past 10 years, 7 years have graduated with distinctions, I mean, with honors, and yet have no place to be fixed. And if they decide to create their own jobs, and the funding becomes almost impossible, because how could you expect somebody, a fresher, to raise money? He should have been engaged for some time so that he can begin to save. And saving, or even at this time, is no longer fashionable, because the inflation is almost eating up whatever you think you are saving. So it is not even advisable to save at this time. Then what will you people do? It's not unfortunate that we found ourselves in this quagmire. What areas can the government come to the rescue of the masses, since these people don't know why they are there, or why, of course, they are occupying such a position as legislators? They should be able to come out with policies, people's friendly policies that will give some, of course, the masses some sense of belonging, and cushion the effect of this economic mishaps that is having an overbearing burden on Nigerians. I mean, virtually everything is suggesting that life is not worth living in this part of the world. Honestly, no encouragement, nothing, of course, to fall back on. It's rather unfortunate that everybody is just left to himself, not even the supposed government, whose primary responsibility is the welfare of the supposed citizens and everyone residents within that locality. They are not even careful. They don't mind whatever happens to anyone. It's just a survival of the fittest. You are just in a jungle. Whatever happens to you, of course, is your fate, and that is left for the person. That shouldn't be so. Most of them enjoy of course, free educations, at least from primary school to secondary school. Why shouldn't they duplicate such with the enormous resources being expended, being wasted, being looted on daily basis? The rate of looting in Nigeria, if we were to be in America, American economy would have collapsed. Regardless of that, with the enormous resources we are endowed with, it is not being harnessed to the betterment of all as sundry. It is just the privileged political elites, few that are enjoying it with their families, throwing party here and there, making some travel, of course, shoppings, travel voyage just for shopping to go and buy singlet and buy polo and come back, buy boxers. You can imagine when there are people who even has no idea how to eat the next meal for the day, the entire week. So it is so unfortunate what kind of society it is, and people are no wonder everybody is doing everything possible. Of course, even selling up their properties and belongings to jet out of this country with their families. These are Nigerians. Most of them are gainfully employed, but they don't see future in this country. So my bankers do are well paid, but they saw there was nothing like future for them and their families. They have to dispose whatever is within their reach and to flee this country, the country. Then in that, is it true that anybody that want to stay here? Who even believe that I'm a stranger and alien? Of course, I'm a Biafran. I can't hide my identity because my father told me what led to the war. And this war, of course, he fought the war in defense of humanity or supposed prosperity, which happens to be one of them. You are most welcome, sir. We are discussing about the inaction or the supposed bill that is about to be passed by the senators, that every parent must compulsorily send their own children to school. Otherwise, they back the child centers under this current is okay, not Buhari, Tinubu's economic mishap.
That all Nigeria must go to school.
All Nigerians must go to school, all Nigerian children must go to school, and the parents must be responsible,
Yes,
for their education.
truly, all Nigeria must go to school. Reasons, there are so many reasons they should go to school. It will reduce crime and it will also reduce barbarism. See, if you go to the north where there are majority of them are illiterate, that is where you are seeing all this bombing and this and that, no value to human life because they don't have life. The government have been saying that all Nigerians must go to school. It's quite unfortunate that a section in the country say that they don't welcome Western education. How can you say about that? They don't welcome Western education. If you don't welcome, what are you going to study? What are you going to school to study? You go there and study how to throw bomb. You go and study how to practice religion. Islamic religion. You go there and practice how, learn how to behead someone, how to carry bomb with this thing and commit suicide. Imagine. So it is the problem of the country. The northern part of Nigeria should help the entire Nigeria and send their sons and daughters to school in order to reduce crime in the nation.
And I discovered that Alamanjo's system of personnel in Nigeria, unfortunately, is not part of Islamic tenet of faith. But why is it that it's been celebrated in this part of the world? Alamajiri system is being encouraged, especially in the northern Nigeria.
Alamajiri should be encouraged, but Jonathan tried all he could to promote Amajiri, but it's quite unfortunate that the northern part of Nigeria did not welcome that. They did not support him. They did not give him support. Rather, they voted him out in 2015. Upon all his effort, I was calling him president of the North. I called Jonathan president of because he gave them Amajiris. Teachers were following. We are following them. The teachers were following them in the bush when they are rearing their cows and be teaching them so that they can improve. But at the end of the day, they pay him back with badge.
And those model schools are now turned to Boko Haram camps and bandit camps.
Can you imagine?
Maybe is that a choice they make for themselves?
The problem is their elite. They did not tell them the truth. They want only the few to be intelligent and dominate others. They believe in dominance. They want to dominate. They become the head. Others will be subordinate. So and be worshiping them. They don't want them to come up where you have self-development. Someone can be independent and fight for his living. They don't want that. They want them to be under them. Every day you give them 50-50 naira or 100 naira to go and eat food, and they'll be worshiping you as God. It's quite unfortunate.
It's quite unfortunate. And most of these children, especially in the north, of course, doesn't even know who their parents are. So who should be held responsible for their education if the government is indirectly or directly shying away from her responsibility?
Of course, their elite, their fathers should be held responsible. Those of them that went to school and they are in government, they are in control for years, they have been ruling Nigeria, they could not offer them education. It's quite unfortunate, and they should be held responsible for all the things that are happening in the north. The Boko Haram insurgents and the other militant group that are coming up in the north. The elites, the northern elders should be held responsible. They should be held responsible for every menace in the north. Thank you.
And there is one northern extraction who is a oil mogul merchant said that one time he doesn't know what to do with money. That is too mistakenly that he doesn't know what to do with money. We have billionaires who controls billions in the Nigerian economy in the north, and what are they doing for their own masses?
Yes, of course.
Who are impoverished?
Yes, of
who are backwards? Retarding, I mean, in terms of education and economic wise.
If you are counting on the richest men in the world, if you count up to 5 to 10, I think they are from the north. They are from the north, where you have only 5% being rich, 95% are poor. They are living below poverty level, according to statistics. They are living below poverty levels. I don't know what they use their wealth to do. Instead of giving their people education, giving them free education, sponsor them, help them, their lifestyles will come up. They fail to do that. They use their money to be doing. I don't know whether they even sponsor ammunition, sponsor Boko Haram and other things. I don't know.
For the political gains,
for their own selfish interest, so that people will not come up and challenge them. No, they don't want people to have their independence and live fine. Yes, unlike other West in the West, everybody is comforted. Everybody, in fact, you can come up and say,
everybody is struggling for his life.
Yes,
not that everybody is comforted.
Not really that everybody is comforted. But you can probably say that you generate some amount every day. You can earn your living by yourself. You don't depend. Everybody is independent. But in the north, they are depending on their elites, their elders, the wealthy ones, and they refuse to assist them. You know, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for one day. But if you teach a man how to fish, you feed him forever. So it's better that you teach them how to fish rather than giving them fish every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your submission.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate you.
Yeah, Israel.
Thank you so much.
I also want to talk about Israel. I'm hearing about bombardment and the war going on in the Middle East. In fact, I was reading from this now the postage. I also watched from international media where
Israel gave ultimatum that should leave Gaza in 24 hours. So they were asking me, is it right? Is it not war crime? Is it not against international laws? See, all those things they are talking about doesn't have effect on Israeli decision. Israel have decided to fight back. The Hamas came up on Saturday when they were having their party and the Passover.
Honestly, children were massacred, burned
So
to
they
death.
killed and all the citizens celebrated that. Nobody came up and said this is bad from Palestine. Nobody came up from Gaza and said this is bad. All of them were happy. They celebrated it. They were rejoicing. Now, Israel giving an ultimatum means that they don't want to kill civilians.
Of course.
They don't want to kill the innocent citizens. That's why they ask them to evacuate so that they will face Hamas directly. But meanwhile, to me, I'm seeing that every member of Gaza is a member of terrorists. That's why I'm seeing it on my own side.
But so anybody that refused to within the time,
For them to
window of
for them to
provided.
came up and celebrated the massacre of Israelites. They killed them in mass. 1,300 Israelis were killed under 48 hours. So it's in fact it's provocative. So and a nation like Israel that doesn't have forgiving spirit can never allow such to just go like that. International communities are shouting ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire.
Or you can allow it.
It's not about forgiving spirit.
Ceasefire.
You cannot destroy the life of children, especially how children were beheaded.
No, in this part of the world.
Down.
In this part of the world.
Home up. I mean, in this part of the world, we are Christians. The Jews, the parents to Jesus Christ, the people that born Jesus Christ, say that they don't believe in his teachings. They believe in the law of their elders.
Judaism.
Yeah, which is Judaism. The law of their elders.
Eye for eye.
The law Moses brought to them.
Teeth for teeth.
That is exactly what they believe. If someone slap you once, slap the person 20 times. That's what they believe. I know Israel from history. They don't forgive anyone. If you kill any one of Israeli, they will kill thousands from your own side. They can never leave you. So now it has happened since after the Holocaust. No ambush, no killings of this manner, of this height have taken place in Israel. Now it has happened in this way. Israel, do you think that Israel will keep watching? Will they sit back and allow the enemies to eliminate the whole nation of Israel?
It's not possible.
So as of now, I'm giving maximum support to Israel. They have to let them, as they told the innocent citizens to evacuate the city. Let he that have ear in here. They should evacuate immediately. Of course, I saw them, many of them moving that to another direction that is safe. So that Israel will, because the Hamas hide under the umbrella of innocent civilians and they are attacking Israel. So Israel said they want to know who is civilian and who is a terrorist. Yes, they want to know who is civilian and who is terrorist. And now, and mind you, I know that there are other Arab world that are backing Hamas, like Hezbollah and people from Iran. It doesn't make any meaning. If they come up, if they even want to turn it, because the way I'm seeing it, it may finally turn to world war. I know that Americans are in Mediterranean Sea monitoring the activities, because if Iran intervene, if Iran maybe send any missile to Israel, I know America will come up and defend Israel to the core. Yeah, it's not only defense, they will attack. And the Middle East will change. Quote, Netanyahu said that. So after this war, Middle East will change. So that automatic 24 hours, I support that.
I think it's in the interest of the civilians.
Yes, for the interest of
even alone, that is fair enough for them to evacuate, because the handwriting is on the wall. And
I even observed there are protests all over the world. Arab nations are protesting that Israel should cease fire. Cease fire on what ground? You went and kill someone, kill them in mass, kill their parents, kill the children, and the abducted some of them captive,
innocent children,
and hold some of them captive. Up till now, they are holding them captive.
and you ask them to cease fire. On what ground are you ceasing fire?
The person must be joking.
I know the nation of Israel from the right to the left to the front to the back. They are surrounded by enemies. Israel, we are surrounded by enemies.
So if they are surrounded by enemies, why did that lapses? Why that security lapses? That even gave chance for these people to even strike in the first instance.
Apart from the normal war, I noticed that there are some Israeli that sabotage Israel, because that thing couldn't have happened. I believe that there are so many Israelis that live in this place. They would have seen any missile. The best intelligence in the world, IDF, Mossad is the best intelligence in the world.
Yes, what were they doing?
I strongly believe that Illuminatis are involved. The satanic group, the one they call Freemason, they are involved in these activities. And some members of citizens of Israel are members of those things. They are allowing it to happen. So Israel must have some people that must have supported that thing took place. It wouldn't have taken place if Israelis were not involved. So, but in the nutshell, Israel will fish out all those bad eggs. So on that matter, Israel will not allow the people to go scot-free. They must fish them out and deal with them.
Well, that is where we find ourselves in the world politics. Thank you so much, esteemed comrade, for your submissions. Yes, on this note, esteemed fans, I wishing you all the best of the weekend. Is Chigazie Ndibo. Until we come your way in next edition, please don't forget to hit the subscription buttons if you've not done so, and give us thumbs up. Of course, I wish you all the best of the week. Stay safe, and those in Asia, in Israel, or within those regions that are passing through very turbulent time, please stay safe the more you can. And we in Nigeria here, of course, we are also facing such a level of insecurity, left at the mercy of the Almighty. And of course, everybody is the chief security of his or herself. This is the situation we find ourselves. Even Abuja's residents, there's some level of panic going on because of some unrest or perceived rumors are going on. Well, whatever happens, we believe that God will keep us safe. And my SM fans watching in Europe, in USA, and in Asia, in Italy, thank you so much. And of course in Nigeria and any other African countries, I appreciate you so much for standing in with us. Thank you so much, and keep watching, keep sharing. Of course, as we continue to bring your way unbiased reportage of events. Keeping it real has been an earnest commitment and a drive so far. Thank you so much. Remain blessed until the next edition. Bye.